Bangladesh's parliament has been dissolved as a tense calm returns to the capital Dhaka. On Monday, weeks of violent protest culminated in the resignation of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who fled to India. Students who spearheaded the uprising that toppled the Prime Minister say they won't accept military rule. They're demanding that the Nobel Peace Prize laureate Muhammad Yunus be installed as a chief advisor to any new interim government. He has reportedly agreed to take on that role. Now, all of this follows a day of chaos and disorder in which at least 109 people were killed and crowds stormed the Prime Minister's official residence, engaging in widespread looting. And we can get more now from Prapti Taposhi. She's a student and activist at Jahangirnagar University in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Thanks so much for coming back on our programme. If I can start with a personal question. 24 hours after such a momentous day in Bangladesh, can you tell us how you remember yesterday as all of these events unfolded?
Thank you so much for the question. First of all, yesterday we were on the streets. There has been imposed a strict curfew. And I, along with my friends and fellow protesters, we went down on the streets to the long march to Dhaka that our student leaders have proposed. And then when we learned that the former Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, had resigned, I can't express in words the emotion and the feeling. Those people who were in Shahbag, we were in Shahbag, and I clearly remember I and my friend Shuddho, we just sat down on the streets and we cried our heart out because then I only remembered our martyrs who had sacrificed their lives for this victory. And there were so many people in the streets of Dhaka and all over the country, and the people were rejoicing, singing, dancing on the streets. They were spreading flowers. They were eating each other's sweets, and we don't even know so many people. Still, we hugged each other. Just we saw one. So, in my 24 years of life, I have never ever seen such a long, joyous occasion where so many people who we don't know each other, we were hugging each other, and we were glad that finally the autocratic, the dictatorship, the fascist regime stepped down. And some of us couldn't even believe ourselves that we finally made it happen. We finally made former Prime Minister her audacity to step down. So this day, yesterday, I will remember throughout my whole life, and I wholeheartedly believe the entire population of Bangladesh will remember yesterday because we all made a history yesterday.
Prapti, the way you describe it really, really brings it alive. The emotions are obviously just so real. Of course, today, more crucial developments happening in your country. The Bangladeshi parliament has been dissolved. How would you describe the mood today?
After yesterday, when I would say that at evening, I got severe updates and posts about the minorities are being attacked. And a lot of people who were there, who were celebrating, who were enjoying our victory, we could not even celebrate ourselves properly because the news that our minorities, religious minorities, indigenous minorities, they are being attacked, that shocked ourselves. And we think that, I personally think that when the army has taken over our government, the army should have done enough to protect ourselves, to protect the religious and indigenous minorities. But till now, we don't see that Bangladesh Army is doing enough for our protection. And I believe that, yes, this is a big step that former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has stepped down. But with great power comes great responsibility. And it is great responsibilities of our students, those who are the leaders, those who are the protesters, the entire population of Bangladesh, that we we should reform our country now. We are thinking about reforming the whole structure, the whole system of Bangladesh now. And this is also a greater responsibility. And I can see that the whole student leaders, the whole students are exactly, they are looking forward to doing that. I can see that the students, they already stood beside the religious minorities. They are now doing the job of traffic police. They are now cleaning the streets of the Bangladesh. So I am very hopeful of myself, of ourselves, and we believe that together we can reform our total whole country, reform the system, and reform our government, where we can finally be able to practice our democratic system, democratic culture.
The students have been very clear in saying, haven't they, that they won't accept military rule. Do you trust the military?
No, I don't trust the military at all, because if I can say, also some of you must have already known that the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has fled, and we assume that the Bangladeshi military, the Bangladeshi army has helped her to flee from the country. If she was in the country right now, she would have held accountable for her actions, and she would have taken liabilities for the murders of the bloodshed of our brothers and sisters. So if we say that the Bangladesh army, they are till now, they are saying that they will cooperate ourselves. The army chief has said that he will cooperate to the students. But the way Bangladeshi army has helped the former prime minister, I would say I'm very hopeful. But I want to say another thing, that the people of Bangladesh, the students of Bangladesh, we have seen a military-led government from the Fakhruddin regime, and we don't trust a military-led government at all. This is why our student leaders, our protesters, we have been very clearly indicating that we don't want any military-led government. We want an impartial and inclusive interim government, and we want a clear re-election, a free, proper re-election, where we can express our democratic rights, where we can finally, the youth generation of Bangladesh can finally be able to vote. So I would like to say another thing, that is, whoever takes the power must learn from the horrendous crimes and horrendous murderous legacy of the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Awami regime. So any injustice, if it's done by the Bangladeshi army, if it's done by the military, if it's done by any other opposition party or any other ruling party, the Bangladeshi population, the Bangladeshi students will fight against it. We have fought before. We will fight against it till our country, all over the people, the minorities, the indigenous communities, us, women, everyone can live happily in a democratic country.
Prapti Taposhi, Bangladeshi student and activist, thank you so much for your time telling us about your thoughts and feelings in these last momentous days. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting me.